Hey everyone, it's your girl Alfia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I want to do a Lifetime movie called An Amish Sin. It's about refusing to marry the man who abused her as a child. An Amish teen runs away to a neighboring city and tries to adjust to life in the modern world. So we have Rachel. Rachel is the main character. Rachel is in an Amish lifestyle, and she grew up in it. But she has a secret that she is hiding. Viewer discretion is advised. She has an uncle that's not a blood relative uncle. His name is Adu, if I say it right, Iddo. And he has been sexually assaulting her, a young child up until a certain age. I think he was a couple years older than she was. And Rachel couldn't tell nobody. So with her being an Amish person, I'm not really too much, and I do apologize because I don't know that much about Amish religion. But I think they believe in God, if I'm not mistaken, because I know they did mention God a couple times in the movie. Okay, so let's get into it. Rachel is a very sweet young lady. And her parents do love her. She has three other siblings. She has two little brothers and a sister. And Rachel is very protective of her siblings. And Rachel actually gets, I think, I want to say it's not like baptized, but she got something to get closer to God. She got something that's get closer to God. So Rachel, actually, her parents want her to get married to the guy that has been essaying her, and they don't know nothing about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think Sarah, her mother, knew, but as a woman, you cannot speak so much, and you don't have that much power, and you have to basically, your husband is the head, and you are basically the quiet ones. Just sit this one out. And one night, actually, the barn was lit with a candle, and Rachel's dad was gonna go turn it off, but she said, I'll go do it. And of course Rachel goes, and the person that has been assaulting her is in the barn. He was like, I wasn't what you call it. He said, I wasn't trying to frighten you. Would you want to pick some eggs with me? And he led her into the chicken coop, and she went in there and got the eggs. He's like, not this one. He's like, one of these are broken. He broke the egg, and then he went in there and he did the unthinkable, and it was just so sad. She came in the house crying, and she's telling her dad. She was like, he's come onto me. And her dad, what does he do? I think he's about to say something. The dad believes that she tempted him, and he proceeds to beat her. And what's so sad is a couple of days ago, she was washing her mother's feet at church at prayer service, and I think it was just for the women because that's all I saw. And she told her mom she has pure thoughts about Iddo. Sorry, I'm not good at names. And her mother says, we're all not clean or whatever. And she does snatch her feet away, and she tells her daughter, well, you must marry him. She's like, well, Mom, what do I do? And her mom's like, you must marry him. You really think your daughter wants to marry the man that essayed her? She's been from a young child, and my heart goes out to Rachel. Rachel's friend Nate tells her about a friend named Grace, and Grace is not in the community, but Grace is a photographer, and she's like, Grace can help you. So Rachel does, after she has gotten beaten by her dad because of what happened between her and Abdul, she tries to run away, and she tells one of her friends. And the night that she plans to run away, because she steals the money out of her parents' chest, because they're like, what are you going to do for money? And she's like, well, my parents has money. So she took the money, and she plans to run away. And when she does, the pastor and another young gentleman catch her. So they take her somewhere where she can get some help for young women. And in the place, they're teaching women how to be, get married and stuff. So Rachel, his parents come to see her, and her mom is very upset. So Rachel does end up walking away and running away and going to Grace's home. But Grace was expecting her 3 weeks ago, and Grace is very welcoming. Grace welcomes her in her home, feeds her, lets her wear her clothes. Because at first, Rachel was like, I cannot wear these because it's not, it's my relationship, like bonding with God or something, she was saying. But she does end up putting the clothes on. Rachel and Grace become really good friends. Nate does come see her a couple times. And then the second time he did come see her, Nate and Rachel had a moment, but Rachel was not ready because, of course, she's only been with her attacker. And it was not what she wanted. The attacker was always forcing himself on her. And she told Nate no, and he kept going. She's like, no. And she pushes him off of her. And Grace's boyfriend puts him out. And I love the fact that Grace and her boyfriend both were really there for Grace. I mean, not Grace, for Rachel. I love that Grace and her boyfriend were really there for her. The first night that Rachel does spend the night at Grace's apartment, how she got to Grace's apartment, she walked from wherever she was at with her community and walked to Grace's home. And Grace is locked up in her home. She has it like very secure so no one can come in, because she said it's a really rough neighborhood, so I'm guessing a lot of break-ins. So she has it secure. It looks like she looks like she lives in a storefront, but it's a really nice, like how she has it. It could have been set up or whatever. Grace opens up her home, and Grace is just loving or whatever. She does at first try to hug Rachel, and Rachel pulls back and she goes, okay, we'll take it slow. She said, well, I'm Grace or whatever. And they really have a really good bonding. And I'm going to go ahead and say, at first I was like, okay, well, how's this person going to act towards Rachel? She was very patient with Rachel. She was there for Rachel. And she's like, well, I don't have a Social Security card, because she asked her if she had a Social Security card or birth. She's like, none of that stuff, so we don't have to worry about it today. But Grace does offer Rachel a job, and I just love how Grace was there for her. This movie is really sad. Also, what happens is how Rachel ends up going back to her community. And I love how she stood up for herself. Her mother, the guy that had assaulted her, had came to find her, because I guess Nate told where she was at. He was saying it's her mom. So she went to the hospital to see her mom, and her family was acting kind of crazy because she was out of her clothing. She was in regular clothes, and she was like, where's mom? And she kept asking, where's mom? So they let her go see her mom, and they talk, and she's like, you're so strong. She said, I knew you were strong. She said, none of this stuff is your fault. And I was like, oh my God, I could cry, because your mom knew the whole time, but she couldn't say nothing because, of course, with being your husband is the leader, you cannot say much. It's kind of like, I don't like to touch on religions because I know some people get a little offended. So, but I guess she can't say too much because of her husband being the head. So, sadly, Rachel's mom does pass away. Rachel does go to the funeral. She ends up going back to the community, but I loved how her dad said you have to earn your trust back, because a couple of days later, she's at the house, and she has prepared. And I don't like how the people in the family of the Amish family was treating Rachel. I understand that she did leave, but y'all didn't have to treat her like that. She lost her mom, and, one of the young ladies was trying to talk to her, and they was like, And I'm just like, wow, y'all are really treating Rachel like an outsider because she left? Like, come on now. Basically, they were trying to say that she committed sins because she left. Once again, I'm not against anybody's religion. I just don't want to go too much into detail, but here I am talking still. So that's still and there's no disrespect to the Amish family, because I really don't know that much about you guys' religion. If you guys ever do come across this video, Rachel does go to the church, because they said that she had to win herself back into church. And Rachel says, she goes in there, she tells the church how she feels, and she's like, I'm leaving. And she said something about her sister. She's like, don't nobody mess with my sister, I'm coming back or whatever. And I'm like, yes, make sure you stand up for your sister, because before Rachel had left, she did ask her sister, I know that put you to bed, the guy that assaulted Rachel. She's like, has he ever, what do y'all talk about? She said no, so he didn't mess with his sister. And I thank God for that, because it's just terrible that he did it to her. And I'm so glad he didn't do it to the younger sister. And her younger sister is so sweet. And I didn't like the fact that they told the younger sister, Rachel's younger sister, that she couldn't have a relationship with Rachel because of what happened. Like, don't talk to her or whatever. But I loved the movie. It was a good movie, but it was really, really sad because of what Rachel had to go through and how her family treated her, and how her dad beat her because of he thought she tempted him, and he had been doing it to her. And it's just like she can't even defend herself. I wish that they would have went into more detail after Rachel left. Like, what did she do? I love the fact that Nate took her to, after he got her after that day, she told them at the church that she was leaving, and her dad was trying to silence her, and she was like, no. She was like, he had been assaulting me, and Nate takes her to the police station, and I guess that she gets the guy that had been assaulting her arrested, and I hope that they got justice for him. I'm not sure if it's based on a true story, but I know some people go through things in communities, but like I said, I don't want to get too much into it, but if you haven't already, watch Amish Sin. It comes on Lifetime. It just recently came on. If you have Philo, look at it through Philo or on demand for Lifetime. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much, and I look for you in my next video. All right, thank you. Bye.